G'day guys, Kiwi Bowhunter here. Just want to make a quick video, well, don't know how long it's actually going to go, just discussing, well, this is a message to the American people that follow my channel will end up stumbling across this video. This is 21st of December 2012, and it's starting to look a bit bad for you guys' gun rights. So I thought I'd just take a quick moment. Quite a lot of people I see talking about what to stock up on and this and that and the other thing. Now, the problem over here in New Zealand, I think it was 1991, there was a guy called David Gray, and he's responsible for what is known as the Aramoana massacre, and he's basically on the benefit or the welfare or whatever you want to call it. A little bit nutty, had a bunch of guns, different, bolt action 22s and semi-auto 22s, shotguns. The main one he used for this massacre was an Orinco NHM 90 and 223, with standard capacity 30 odd round magazines. He killed, was it 18 people or something like that? It was a good number of people, and wounded a few more, and basically caused a bit of an uproar. Now, Aramoana's out on a spit down a real hell of a gravel road out of Dunedin, which is right at the bottom of the South Island. This is back when the road was even worse, and it's windy and it's long, and it takes quite a while to get out there even nowadays, because I went out there a wee while ago with some mates when we were down that way just to have a look around, and yeah, that's what prompted magazine capacities restrictions here, was this guy shooting up. He killed some cops as well when they went out there to try and stop him. He was just a complete nutcase, really. Ended up getting tear gassed out of his own house and then riddled with 9mm out of a few armed defender squad, which is our version of SWAT MP5s, which is good because he was a psycho. But the main problem here now is not getting a gun. Like, I'm on my regular license, which allows me to get hunting class firearms, which is basically any pump action, pump action, bolt action, lever action, whatever, anything I want, as long as it's over 30 inches in length, because otherwise it's classified as a handgun. Semi-automatics I can get, again, basically anything I want, but there's a few things that class them as what they call a MSSA, which is a military style semi-automatic, and that's high capacity magazines. For a centerfire it's anything over 7, for rimfire it's anything over 15, and then bayonet lugs, freestanding pistol grips on a actual military stock. So if you have a non-military standard freestanding pistol grip, you're good. You also can't have folding or collapsible stocks, and flash hiders, but we're allowed suppressors, so I don't know, something weird. But the main problem we have now is magazine costs. They are ridiculous. So I'm going to have to say, if you guys want one thing to mainly stock up on, if they're going to start getting shitty about it, would definitely be magazines. Like, to go to the gun shop, we're allowed to buy magazines, we're not technically allowed to own them with a firearm that they will work in if it's a semi-automatic and you want to put a high cap mag on it, like 30 round AK. I can buy an AK, not hard to get it all on, especially on my license, which is technically for hunting firearms, but I'm only supposed to have it with 7 round magazines. Now, the firearm doesn't need to be registered on A category, so technically no one would know I had it. Then I can go and buy magazines for it, even high capacity ones if I so wish, but I would get in trouble if I got caught with them, is the problem. Now, that's could be a risk I'd be willing to take, but the other thing is price. To buy them from a shop costs about $400 per magazine for a 30 round AK magazine. It is ridiculous. Every now and again, like same for AR mags, drums, AK drums, sometimes run up to $1,000 each. Between $750 and $1,000 for a drum, 75 round AK drum. M14 20 round magazines can be $400 as well. Sometimes you get an AR mag for $300. Every now and again, this is from shops, every now and again you can find them cheaper on different websites. Like, cheapest so far I've found AR mags is, for a PMag I can get one for $130, which is a hell of an improvement on $400, but it's still not really that cheap for a single magazine. Then every now and again the Steyr AUG magazines pop up cheap, mainly because we have them in our military and people lose them and then sell them off on Trade Me for $20 to $50 each, and again in store they're about $400, which isn't that good, especially because the rifles themselves are about between $5,000 and $8,000 here. So if I did want to get an unregistered get a ACAT weapon and then get some high cat mags for it and not tell anyone, it'd still be expensive as hell. To get the license for them isn't that much difficult, but then the weapon has to be registered, and I just don't like the idea of having the government knowing exactly what I've got. Not because I'm doing anything wrong, but I just think that's my business and no one else's really. But yeah, ammunition, it's more expensive here. It's still affordable. It's not ridiculous. I still manage to stock up plenty, and I'm in a shit-paying job at the moment, and I still manage to prep everything, pay my bills, have a relatively expensive to run car, and do everything else I want. But yeah, I'd definitely have to say that if you want to stock up on something, it should be magazines, because that will be the thing that starts getting expensive and problematic for you first. If they change the configuration you have to have your rifles in, yeah, that's one thing. Magazines, if they start raping the prices like they did over here, then that is definitely something you'd want to get. And if they ban them outright, potentially way around that would be to put the springs, coat the springs in white lithium grease, and any metal parts of the magazine. This is I'm talking like polymer mag, but if it's a steel mag, coat the whole thing in like white lithium grease. Go buy a few spray cans of that from the hardware shop, and then buy some, or put them in ammo tins and bury the damn things, because that's probably the easiest way to get around it, to be completely honest. Yeah, I really hope that you guys don't get anything marked up quite like we did, but it's not exactly a cheap way to go about it, and it would definitely, in my opinion, pay to stock up on your magazines, because that seems to be the thing that's the main problem here, is just paying for the damn things. So hopefully it doesn't go up from $7.50 for an AK mag for you guys to $400, but yes, I would definitely recommend that more than anything else if you're on a limited budget. And if you can't get magazines for your gun easily right now because they're getting sold out, potentially buy high capacity magazines for other weapons that are quite common, and later down the track you might be able to trade them with someone who's got both or wants them, and you can either sell them on for a good profit or use to purchase some more for yourself, or you'll probably find a way to get rid of them if they do become high demand. So buy them now while they're cheap, and you will definitely not regret it. Alright, cheers.